My 38F confession couldn't have gone any worse. I, 38F, had an affair with my coworker, 44M, after having a dead bedroom with my husband, 42M. This had been going on for about 4 years. Felt like roommates. No affection, rarely sex, and it was just about him getting off. I cried, begged for him to come to counseling and tried fixing it any way I could. He brushed it off. Then I started an affair that's been going on throughout this year. No, I'm not excusing what I've done, just giving context to the road traveled. So I decided to tell my husband. I accepted the fact that my marriage won't improve and that I just have false hope, and it would be best to let him know what I've done and accept that divorce is most likely the next step. I wrote 2 letters. One that would be very detailed and one that would skim over details. I planned on letting him choose which one he wanted as suggested by others. This didn't go as planned at all. I told him I needed to talk to him, that it was important. He said okay in a minute. He was tinkering with his motorcycle. Didn't want to push because I was really nervous. But when he was done, he was in the living room watching TV. I approached and told him we needed to talk. He said, "What do you want?" "I'm watching TV." I told him it's important. He said, "Can't it wait?" I walked off. An hour goes by and I go downstairs and he's gone. I call him and ask where he was. He said he went to his friend's house. I said, "Why would you just leave when I said we needed to talk?" He said, "Geez, relax, we can talk later." I hung up and started packing. I've been brushed off so many times during our marriage and I'm done with it. Called my best friend who knew everything and had even tried talking to him for me a few times about the neglect I felt. She said if I needed to, I could move in with her. So that was now the plan. Husband gets back while I'm still packing and asks what I'm doing. I said leaving. He said, "What the hell is your problem?" This is when I lost it. Again, not saying this is okay. But this shows the amount of anger and resentment that I have. I didn't realize just how much resentment I had built up. I don't yell, but I began yelling at the top of my voice. Me, I'm f***ing done. I'm done being your f***ing roommate. I'm done begging you to show affection. I'm done begging to talk to you. I'm done trying to fix things by myself. Him, geez, you're so dramatic. Heaven forbid I can relax for a bit. Me, all you do is relax. That's fine, don't worry about it. I'm not bugging you anymore. Him, God, what is it? Me, don't worry about it. You never worried about it. Have laid next to you crying my eyes out begging for you to give a damn, begging you to just hold me, kiss me, hug me, hell FK me consistently. I've begged you to come to counseling or do anything that would show I'm not in this alone. Him, oh here you go, boo-hoo. If you're so unhappy, how about you find someone else to screw around with? Me, I have. Him, what? Me, since January. Him, are you serious? Me, oh now you care. Now that someone else has been doing what you were supposed to be doing, now you care. The screaming match continued and I showed him the letters that I had wrote but just said bluntly what I had been doing. Again, I never yell but I lost it. This was years of frustration triggered by being brushed off yet again. My best friend showed up, we were still arguing. Grabbed my bags and left. I was still going off in the car the entire ride. When we got to her place, I fell to my knees and started screaming, "This isn't what I wanted," over and over. Just completely broke. Because this really isn't what I wanted. I was so beyond happy when we got married. We were so in love. I don't know why it changed, and at this point it didn't matter. It was dead and I helped kill it. My hope died right then too. People say, why don't you just leave? It was hope, as silly as you may think that is. It was hope that things would change. Even when you know it's unrealistic, you make yourself believe that maybe things can get back to where they were. I always felt guilty, but also always felt neglected, brushed aside and pushed away. This made me angrier and cover than I realized. My best friend just held me and tried to calm me down. I napped. Was so exhausted emotionally. Felt sick and nervous about the argument, but there's no coming back from that. Went back this morning to grab the rest of my stuff. He made some sly comments which I ignored. Just told him I would be staying with my friend permanently but will continue paying my half of the bills until things are settled. Would be unfair to leave him to pay everything. He said, "You're probably gonna be staying with some guy." I just responded with whatever, bye. The reality is that I should have left a long time ago. Instead, I stayed and became something I never wanted to be. But again, saying just leave is so easy until it's you in that situation. This was supposed to be forever, but nope. Story 2. Am I a bad person for not being willing to be nice to the woman my husband started an affair with only a few weeks after our wedding? My 28F husband 30M started an affair with a coworker just a few weeks after our wedding, a coworker that was actually at the wedding and is married herself. They even made us double date a couple of times while her husband and I were still unaware of what was going on. They both came clean after 2 months of talking and meeting behind our backs. He said they didn't sleep together, but they did kiss twice and fell in love with one another, which apparently made him realize that he doesn't love me, even though he seemed to love me deeply before all this, so this really came as a shock. They supposedly stopped the affair. However, the two of them are still in contact as they are co-workers and want to remain friends, even though I told him I am not okay with this. Now they want the 4 of us to meet for drinks and talk so that we can put this behind us, because neither of them want to face the consequences and leave their job. Her husband is on board, actually it was his idea apparently, and all 3 are acting like nothing bad happened and like we can all be friends after this. I am the only one who is against it. My whole life is in pieces, I am completely devastated, the future I thought I would have is gone and I really don't have the emotional availability right now to forgive and forget or even pretend to be nice to the person that is 50% responsible for the affair. Does that make me a bad person? Or immature? I feel like I am the crazy one since the 3 of them are so okay with this situation. We have already decided to separate and we will most likely divorce/get an annulment. What bothers me is that he acts like the 3 of them are so mature and such good people for being able to move past this and be friendly, while I'm the unreasonable one for not wanting to be a part of this charade. Story 3. My 21M wife, 22F, cheated on me shortly into our marriage. We've been married for 8 months. After 2 months of US being married, my wife and I had to do long distance due to work, and since it was only temporary and we both have good paying jobs, we decided it would be okay. Probably 2 months into us doing long distance, my wife's mom was diagnosed with cancer. This was a hard time for us both being that we were doing long distance. When we finally moved back together, I noticed her having more than just friends-like conversations with a guy she worked with out there. I asked her to block him once, she did. I found out they were still talking after that, I asked her to block him again, she did. This guy she was talking to has a wife and kid himself. Not too long ago I got a call from his wife completely airing out what happened between them. She cheated on me, physically and emotionally. I looked at her phone and found Snapchats between them full of nudes. It took a while and multiple times of me asking, but my wife admitted to me everything that happened, start to finish. Her entire family is now involved in this and are being super supportive of me and helping me through this. I have no family, so her family is my everything. She's finally being fully transparent and telling me she wants to be the wife I deserve. She told me I deserve better and is asking for forgiveness and a second chance to show me she is done with the immaturity. Without me asking, she deleted all social media, told me she wants a Ring doorbell so I feel secure when I'm away for work, gave me the location to her phone, and plenty more. I know she is remorseful, as when I talked to her dad, he told me when he asked her if she wanted to divorce, she broke down and said no, and that she would fight for me until she has nothing left to give. I do feel like she is being honest now and showing remorse. She even volunteered to go to counseling to stop this self-destructive behavior. Do you think this can be repaired? I love her deeply, and it feels better that even though I didn't like to hear it, I now know everything. Thank you for listening, and any advice is appreciated.